Hey everyone, Thomas Gilbert here, and today I'm doing a video on my 2023 season, and I'm going to go into the thoughts and feelings I had throughout the entire year, and then as well the process of how I was feeling about each tournament throughout the season, and some of the highlights and lowlights of my play, and just try to give a good breakdown for you all. So let's get into it. All right, so jumping right into it, January 2023, I made the big announcement that I was joining Thought Space Athletics, a really exciting team change that I made, and this led to many opportunities for me. So the first thing that I did was obviously get a whole bunch of Thought Space discs and started trying them all out. And as well, one of the really special things about Thought Space is they allow for an open bag. So I had discs after discs after discs of just trying out everything from every company, trying to really build the best bag I could possibly do. And it was a big process. It was really fun to kind of be able to see all the amazing discs that Thought Space had, but it was honestly a bit overwhelming, kind of trying to find what felt like the best disc from every brand, because every brand has kind of good discs and it's more about what you kind of feel comfortable with. And so that was like a bit of a process for me, but I was really excited. I did lots of training and work with these new discs, and I felt pretty overwhelmed with the start of the season just because I had so much opportunity and really wanted to have a good start, but packed up all my things and headed to Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Challenge was a really big event for me. I played really well there in the past and was really expecting to play well there again. It's another course that kind of suits my game plan. It's more open, and so the expectation was really set high for me, and I didn't quite live up to those standards. Still really enjoyed it and hope to play it again sometime in the future. But the next event was Waco, and Waco was a little bit tougher for me, wooded course, and I think the elements there didn't quite suit my game, and so unfortunately didn't really play well there. But then we headed out to Austin. Austin was a really interesting new course on a new property on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, a really wide open golf course, and I was able to play pretty well there for the most part. I had a few struggles with my backhand at the beginning of the event, but kind of learned how to just pick my lines and dial in the course, and was able to shoot nearly hot round one and then really hot round three to finish it off. And that led to one of my top finishes of the year, which was 25th at the Austin Open. And then next I headed over to Throw Down the Mountain just north of Tampa, Florida, and really enjoyed this event. Played it a couple times. This is one off the tour, so it was really more of a destination stop for me, and played really well there. Had a lot of fun, got to see a little bit of the ins and outs of Paul New's course, and as well got a tournament ace there, really excited about that, and was just feeling good for the season. And that led to the next kind of part of my season, which was the struggle of April. April was very interesting. I kind of felt off with my timing on my backhand. It was a very difficult process. I remember just feeling extremely frustrated and just confused on why my backhand was so off in its timing. I was early releasing almost every shot. I got lots of funny little clips here to show you guys those really messy backhands. But I kind of fought through it. I'm still kind of enjoying the challenge of really trying to strive and fight through these struggles. I had a few good shots here and there and was able to still rely on some of my putting strengths to really highlight some of those tournaments. But unfortunately didn't have the strongest finishes there. But that led on to the Jonesboro Open. Now, Jonesboro was the last event of April and was able to play really well there. I felt really good. I had some confidence in my backhand again, which was really nice. I was putting very well, and so I was able to have a couple solid rounds, especially in the wind. I think it was day 2, and was able to have another good finish there at the Jonesboro Open. This kind of led me into my Canadian swing of the season. I went up and played the Tournament Capital Open in Kamloops, BC, and was able to take down that A tier for my second year in a row. That event is always really special. I really enjoy the entire atmosphere up there, and I was able to go up to Whistler and all over BC, just doing really fun clinics and activities and challenges. So I had really good feelings there and was able to play pretty solid throughout that entire time. Next stop was back in Ontario. I was playing the Foxwood Open. I was coming off that high from playing in the TCO and playing really well. So my game just felt really solid at this time, and confidence was key because backhands were flying good, forehands were flying good, and my putt felt pretty dang good. I was able to kind of tweak a few things in the middle of the tournament that really had a strong finish, and I was able to win the Foxwood Open by a decent margin. At this time, I was also really enjoying creating some content for Instagram and filming little videos for disc golf, and I think that also reflects on how I'm feeling about myself in this part of the season. Next, it was back out to the West Coast for the two events. I played the Cascade Challenge Silver Series and then the Portland Open Elite Plus. These two events were really fun. I went and stayed with one of my friends from Canada, and we played the Cascade Open together. Didn't have a fantastic tournament there, but I wouldn't say it was anything too bad. And then Portland Open was a bomber course, so I really wanted to play well there. And somehow out of the blue, that backhand early release just started to creep in again. But luckily, I was able to kind of think of a quick little fix for it that really helped me be able to kind of just hold it together for that tournament and be able to play pretty solid and get a nice little cash there at the Portland Open. But it was definitely a process. So after I got back from the West Coast, I played the Dreammaker Open. It was a good way to spend my time home. I was there for about a week, and I played pretty solid. I think it was one of my best tournaments of the year. I think I won by about 11 strokes and shot my highest rated round of a 1078. That was really, really exciting, and that led into the DDO. Drove down all the way to Kansas and played in that tournament. Again, feeling really, really good about my game, making a lot of fun videos, and played pretty solid there. Had 3 just good rounds, and then I went on to the Des Moines Challenge. Des Moines Challenge is another place that's really fun for me. Was able to shoot a really hot first round of 10 under par, which was good because this was a 2-round tournament. And unfortunately wasn't able to capitalize the same way I did round 1, and kind of fell back a little bit, but got to watch Isaac make a huge push on Gannon, and that was really exciting, and it was just a nice little highlight before the big swing of the season. Now it was time to head to Europe. Europe is a tournament stretch that I look forward to every year. I've done it 2 years in a row now, and I am so happy to be able to go back there. I was able to go out to Sweden and play in the Swedish Open first. Really fun event, really good courses, and just a really fun atmosphere. I got to hook up with the Magic of Disc Golf crew and enjoyed my time with them. Really getting connected with some of the new Europeans that are popping up on the scene, and just enjoy that time. Next was Skellefteå Open. This was the headquarters of Latitude 64, and really interesting atmosphere for the tournament. It was a really nice course, very difficult and challenging. Was able to play pretty solid throughout that tournament. Had a bit of struggles, but was keeping it together for the most part. Next tournament after that was the PCS Open, and I was able to play very well there. Had a very rocky first start, but then bounced back with a hot second round, 10 under par, which felt really, really good. I was really enjoying myself there. The atmosphere of Norway was beautiful. The scenery is gorgeous. And I was really having a fun time staying with Ricky Wysocki, Albert Tam, and Kyle Klein. Next event for me was the European Open, the big major of Europe. I had a good confidence going into the event and played well for a majority of it, but unfortunately a lot of the OBs got me, and that kind of started to weigh on me a little bit more. My confidence was starting to get shot down a little bit, but was able to still kind of battle and get a decent placing in the tournament. And then finally, I traveled all the way to the Åland Open in between Sweden and Finland, and I was able to play pretty well in this tournament. It was a really beautiful course up in it almost felt like a mountain golf course, which I think really suited my game. I could just kind of throw far, make sure to try to keep it in bounds, and then play pretty well. And for the most part, I did so. I think there was a few holes in the back nine that never were really my friend, but I felt pretty good. It was a beautiful spot, stayed with really great people, and it was a really good way to wrap up my European trip. All right, so right after my Europe trip, I was headed straight to Thunder Bay to play Canadian Nationals. After a somewhat hectic flight back, a few cancellations, few different flight changes, I drove up to Thunder Bay from Minnesota and was there about 4 days early to get ready for the Canadian National Championship. Now, this tournament is probably my most important title of the year that I strive to get. As a Canadian player, I really put a lot of emphasis on trying to become the Canadian National Champion. I think that's the strongest way to show your dominance in the country, and for me, wanting to hold the title of the best Canadian player, this was a big event for me. So at this tournament, I had a really slow start. I wasn't really playing as hot as I wanted to, and I had a pretty solid showing of 8 under par round one, somewhere in the 10-20 range, I think, or maybe low 10 teens. But this kid, Kalen Schatt, he shot 15 under par after missing the first 3 holes. So just blistered the last 15 holes, birdieing out. And I'll admit, I was pretty intimidated by it. And I was like, holy crap, I need to really gear up, or else this tournament's just gonna run away from me, and I need to do something about it. So we go into the course that's kind of the more birdie or die course. It's this nice little park called Birch Point Park, and really wanting to get a good start here. I get a good couple of the first few holes and kind of slow down in the middle. I start getting a little bit flustered in the middle because I know I'm not getting these birdies that I really need to be capitalizing on. And I think that pressure kind of just really started to put a lull in my game. I didn't really finish out the round too well. I caught a couple more birdies and shot like a decent 7 or so under par, but this is a course you want to shoot double digits on, and I did not do that. So unfortunately, that cost me lead card for the final round, and I was on chase card, but looking to make a move for the tournament still. I think I was only maybe 5 or 6 strokes back, but still within distance. I started out the third round blistering hot. I think I birdied the first 6 holes in a row. So I get to one of the holes, and I think I throw out of bounds, didn't really play very well, and started to get really flustered now. I'm on, I believe it's hole 13, and I have a putt for birdie and on a really difficult hole, and I airball it straight out of bounds, and I throw my head back in disbelief. And at this point, something crazy happened, because that head throw back that I did caused me to get whiplash in my back, and I seized up completely, had to lay down on the ground for about 5 minutes and finish out the tournament with very little movement in my upper body. This was really unfortunate, because at this point I think I was maybe 3 strokes out of the lead, and was trying to make a push, but I was still fought as hard as I could, finished the tournament with whatever dignity I had left, and watched as Casey Hannemeyer was able to chase down Kalen and battle off Brian Fries and get his Canadian national title. And big shout out to Casey, because that is a huge deal. Unfortunately, this injury caused me to have a little bit of a lapse. I was going to go play the Isle Wild Open, but instead I was able to take a week off, which was actually a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because I was the same weekend that a bunch of my family was coming up to visit, and I was able to see all of them who I hadn't seen in a really long time. And so that was really nice. But then now we go back into the season, and D-Glow is the start of that return. At this point, I don't really feel too good with the poor finish at nationals, and as well just recovering from my injury. I wasn't really trusting my backhand again, and was afraid to kind of commit to shots. So I just kind of struggled through D-Glow and didn't really have a strong finish, but was still holding my head up high. Next event was preparation for the World Championships and the Main State Championship. Main States was first off, and I played horrible round one. And this was a really big event for me because I really wanted to impress my sponsor, Thought Space Athletics. They were the main sponsor of the tournament. The big reason I was out at that event, and I had also played well here 2 or 3 years prior. And so I think I just put a lot of pressure on myself, really put the expectation up high, and didn't really shine round one. Kind of let loose after round 2 and round 3, just told myself, go out there and enjoy it. Had a really nice card and was able to play pretty solid and felt a bit better about my game. Although this leads into the World Championships. This is in Smuggler's Notch Resort in Vermont, and 5-round major worlds. Let me tell you, I kind of just went into this tournament trying to enjoy the experience. I played pretty solid round 1 and was able to play decently round 2, but then round 3 and round 4 kind of killed me. I started losing my confidence in the woods out there at Brewster Ridge. Started shanking my backhands, and I think in the last 2 rounds I could count on single hand how many backhands went the way that I drew them up in my head. That's a scary feeling, and so I really just, kind of swallowed it down and took the understanding that I wasn't going to play very well at Worlds, but was able to follow around the lead women and lead men the final rounds and watch Kristen and Isaac get their championships trophies. So that was really fun and leads me into the next tournament I played. The next tournament that I played was the Discmania Open. I drove up from Vermont to PEI and was really pleased to be back here. PEI is always a place that I've really enjoyed. They got great courses up there, great food. So I was looking forward to this event. It was really fun. We were playing at Rose Valley, and pretty wooded course, pretty difficult. The course design there was meant to challenge the players, and it definitely did so. A few easy holes to start and finish the rounds, but the wind made it very challenging. Was able to play, I would say, okay round 1 on the feature card with Isaac, Gavin, and Eagle. And then round 2 was able to really capitalize actually in the wind and shot myself back up into the top 10, and then had a mediocre final round to kind of round out a decent performance that got me some pretty good points for the tour standings. After that, I went back down all the way to Maple Hill. This is my absolute favorite tournament of the year to play. The course is just so amazing. Staying at Casey's house is so much fun, and I really just like this event. So played with just trying to think about how much I enjoy this tournament, and was able to play kind of well, but just didn't really have my game all the way tuned in still. And so was really hoping that I could try to figure things out. Now, throughout this process between D-Glow and the end of MVP, I kind of was continuously trying to tweak and tune and fix my backhand form and just my overall confidence in my game. It was kind of at an all-time low, which was really disappointing because I love disc golf so much and I hate being frustrated by poor play. And so I was just in a low part of my game. Confidence was just not there, and it can show because between Canadian Nationals and I think the end of MVP to the start of USCGC, I did very little social media. I kind of just wasn't feeling proud of myself, and so I didn't really want to share too much with all you guys. And I know that it's all love out there, that I have all the support from the world and all my fans. and I really do appreciate it. I love all the kind messages that I get, but it was just a struggle moment for me in the season. And played the last two events of the year, or the last event of the year, I should say, the United States Disc Golf Championship, another major. I didn't really feel too good going to the tournament. I tried to do as much as I could to recover and really try to dial things in before that event. Played okay round 1 and 2, was able to shoot 1 under par round, which was one of my goals, is to shoot under par each round. But that blew up in rounds 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, I should say, where the OB just got to me. My worst stat in disc golf is OB rate, and boy, did it show there. I was spraying it left and right into the hazards and OBs and really didn't have a strong finish. But I went back home to Canada and started out to just try to relax and enjoy the last couple events of my season. So the last events that I played was the Nominating Championship up in Quebec. This tournament is one that I've played in the past and able to do pretty well at, and this one I just went up to enjoy. I was able to stay with a few of my friends, and it's a beautiful spot in Quebec and really, really nice. So drove up there with my uncle and just played the event, had a really good time. Congrats Martin Hendel for beating me up there and getting his A-tier win. And after that, I was able to go back home, see my parents for a little bit and just kind of relax. Played a little league championship in Midland, had a really good time there, was able to kind of kick some butt through some pretty cold, wet conditions, but I was really happy to be able to kind of play well in my game, putt well, throw well, and feel pretty good. This led to my final sanctioned event of the year, the Ontario Disc Golf Championship. This event just happened a couple weeks ago, and it felt really, really good. Going in there, had a good, confident strategy plan. I had kind of gone through and really thought about what my goals were for this tournament and how to kind of set my expectations for this event, and go in there just knowing that, hey, this event can go either way. I just want to try to play my best, and boy, did I kind of do that, because I was able to, after a mediocre round 1 event and the crazy winds, I was able to go out to the Winter Farms course and shoot back-to-back 1050 rounds. And I'll tell you that this was a really good way to kind of finish off my season, end the year on a high note, and kind of lead into the rest of my off-season plans. So now is the time to put a plan in place for my 2023-2024 off-season. I kind of wrote down a whole bunch of different things and plans that I want to do, create a schedule for my daily and weekly routines, and as well wrote out a game plan for my putting, my upshots, my driving, and my OB rate, because these are all parts of my game that I really want to dial in to have a more successful 2024 season. So here's the plan. I plan to make a few videos on each of these topics throughout the next couple weeks, and release these videos for you guys here on YouTube, and really to show you the process and show you how I am trying to dial in these parts of my game, and hopefully show you guys some of the tips and tricks that I can figure out myself to share with you, so maybe you can do some of these at home. But this is my plan. That was my season recap. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time.